हरि ओम दीर्घायुष्मान भव स्त्रीभ्यः दीर्घसुमंगली भव सर्वव्याधि निवारण प्राप्तिरस्तु सर्व ऐश्वर्यम अभिवृद्धिर्भवतु. So I am continuing in English. Comparative religions, Hinduism versus Christianity, part 15. So the point is, the principle of ahimsa is not there in the Abrahamic religions. Everywhere I have seen, in both Islam as well as in Christianity, though a form of a love is being preached by the Bible, in the New Testament, not much is there. Whereas an eye for an eye is there, a tooth for a tooth is there in Bible, we have seen. And in Islam also they would say, if you do something, cut your hand, the God will cut the leg, stone him to death, and all for adulteress, and all is there. See, some verses, interesting verses I came across in Bible, which it is there in St. Luke, Luke, I do not know, Lucas or how they call, and chapter is 14th chapter and the verse is 26. Above that the title is the cost to follow Jesus. What are the costs for you if you want to follow Jesus is the subtitle. And in the shloka or in the verse 26 it states, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. So if any man wants to go to Jesus but does not hate his father, mother, brother, sister, sisters and his own life, yes, he cannot be my disciple. So in order to be his disciple, you have to hate your father, mother, brother, sister and your own self also. And he supports that in verse number 33, same, under 26, 33 I am quoting. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsakes not all that he has, he cannot be my disciple. So in 26 and 33 if you read, so 33 is very clear also. So likewise, you whosoever amongst you, are all standing there, but who do not forsake whatever you have, you cannot be my disciple. That is the 33. So 26, I was really stunned when I read that verse. What could be that interpretation I was thinking? Because the Bible is a holy book for many Christians. It is revered. Like our Bhagavad Gita or our Rig Veda and all, our Vedas and our mantras. Nothing wrong, every culture has its own religious book and it has to be respected. But when I read these words, I asked, even recently when I was abroad, I was talking to an English preacher who was standing outside and giving me notice, life to eternity, Jesus Christ and all. So I was saying, what do you think of these words in St. Luke 14:26, 14th chapter? He said, after reading that in his mobile, he said, no, it is only an hyperbola. That is, Jesus wants to say, extreme form that you have to do everything, forsake everything, then only you can be his disciple. Means you have to really renounce everything and concentrate and focus on the love for Jesus. Well, I told him, my dear sir, first of all, the verse, your interpretation is you are trying to justify something because hate is a violent word. It is not non-violence. It is not ahimsa. If you hate somebody, when our Veda says, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, you have to treat them as a Deva. This is what it says. He could have told renounce, or the Bible was rewritten up to the 15th century James Bible, and you are an Englishman, you could have rewritten or asked the scholars to rewrite and publish the final version. Why do you put the word hate? No, we are like that he was telling, this is a hyperbola. The hyperbolas cannot be there. If you start hating your father and your mother and your brothers, it is a very big sin. Even if you want, if Jesus wants to be you as his disciple, he cannot ask you to hate your mother, who is the God, who is treated as a Deva. You cannot hate and finally you hate yourself. Therefore I asked him, what is the arthaha, meaning of another verse which says, love thy neighbor as you love thyself. It's a famous verse everybody knows. So you love yourself. Here you say you hate yourself to be his Jesus. If you hate yourself, that means are you going to hate your neighbor? Where is the logic? A is equal to B is equal to C. Therefore A is equal to C. That's what I am telling. Logic. All men are mortal. Tom is a man. Tom is mortal. Premises of logic. Basic premise. So if you say hate yourself, and another words you say love thyself, and you have to love your neighbor as you love thyself, and here you say hate yourself to be his disciple. So I should not be his disciple if I want to love my neighbor. If I want to love my neighbor, I should not be your disciple of Jesus. I should be disciple of some other God. You see, Bible will be contradicting everywhere. And they will say an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Everywhere Bible says. Even in Islamic religion, you have to throw stone on an adulteress and stone her to death. Caiaphas stoned, I think, Benjamin to death after 2 years, after supposedly Jesus was crucified. They were stoning to death. Those Jews, none of them believed Jesus, and they do not want Jesus to be their king also, the king of the Jews. That's why he was mocked with a thorn on his head as he was leading the cross. See, the customs of Romans, how they punish criminals who are especially in sedition against the state, is crucifying them on a cross and then leave the body to the vultures or eagles to be eaten away. They don't give them the honorable burial. That's what confirmed by BBC documentary also. The historians say that, because I was watching those programs as I was doing the research. So that is, the hatred is there also there. The words are there, but I do not know how they, because, so finally he also confirms that in the verse number 33. I am reading that 33. So likewise, whosoever he be of you, amongst you, that forsakes not all that he has, he cannot be my disciple. So you have to forsake your father. Means here in the 26 he says hate. Who does not hate, he cannot be my disciple. If you do not hate your father, you cannot be my disciple. If you do not hate your mother, you cannot be my disciple. If you do not hate your brother and sister, you cannot be my disciple. Finally he says, yeah. If you do not hate yourself, you have to hate yourself also. Then only you can be my disciple. Then only you can, if you come to me, you can be my disciple. I will accept you as my disciple. Is the clear meaning on this, supported by 33. Verse number 33. See, so what I am telling, it is not a criticism on Bible. Scholars of Bible should have read these words, and if they want to project something good of Jesus, they are now disrespecting Jesus. They could have rewritten, nothing wrong. See, we all know Bible was rewritten. They themselves admit, Christians themselves, church admits. Till 15th century James Bible. They should have taken up these words, put some other words. Even renouncing is wrong. What does the Veda say? Matrudhe vo bhava, pitrute vo bhava, acharyate vo bhava, atitite de vo bhava. Is it not? The Vedas are very, very clear on this. Is it not? And if you see, I am going to quote from hymn number 10, 22 of 25. Rig Veda, if you want to have a prayer to Indra, the prayer was full of truthfulness and ahimsa only. Non-violence only, especially in book number 10, hymn number 22 and the shloka, paragraph number 25. You can see ahimsa is mentioned, truthfulness, satya is mentioned. The man prays to Indra. And if you see this Taittiriya Upanishad, Yajurveda, there is verse, may all beings look at me with a friendly eye, and may I do likewise, and may we look at each other with the eye of a friend. The Mitrathvam is there. And if you go to Anushasana Parva in Mahabharata, whereas I called out these beautiful, lovely words, ahimsa paramo dharma katha ahimsa paro dhamma. Dharma is charity, dhamma is self-control. I told you, shamaha is also self-control of physical organs, dhamma. Like you don't take your hand and punch somebody. As one Christian father was telling, go and punch the faces of the Hindus. Let the blood come. See, that's what they are preaching. So ignorant they are. And dhamma, internal, ahimsa is physical control of your physical organs. Then ahimsa param dhanam. Dhanam is also, ahimsa is, if you do charity is also, it's a param dhanam. Ahimsa param tapaha also. You have to do the tapas also. Ahimsa param yajna. You have to do the yajna, homa. Homa is anything if you offer to fire. Fire is purity. Anything if you offer to fire, that means light, you reach faster the world of light. Why light? Because light contains, I am telling to some of these politicians who say Hinduism does not have science, only Abrahamic religions like Islam and Christianity. One ignorant politician was giving a lecture, I heard that video, and I could recognize his voice. It's not an imposted voice. And he was telling that here, why Vallala, Sri Ramalinga Adigalar, he merged with light. Our Siddhas, even Tirumular, all merge with light, they say. Why? Light contains particles called photons. And photons are particles which do not decay. They are outside the realm of atoms of the ordinary matter. Photons are particles which do not die. They are eternal. They do not decay. Photons are particles which are copycats of each other. That is, there is no partiality. They are not different from each other. They look alike. They are all same. Dharma is there. No partiality. God cannot have partiality. I told you yesterday, God cannot reward you and punish you. Because if He is going to reward you, you are going to another state of happiness from the existing state. So existing state can be a punishment also. He cannot give you that extra and deprive another man that one, because he has created everything. See, that is what the beauty lies. I will explain more of that, and that's what the Mandukya Rishis and Gaudapada Karikas and Govindapada all have come to beautiful Upanishads are there. The highest form. You cannot defeat no Thomas Alzheimer or no René Descartes or Sigmund Freud. Nobody can come anywhere near that. And it beautifully says, ahimsa, I told you, and ahimsa param mitram, ahimsa param sukham. You can understand. Ahimsa param satyam, ahimsa param shrutam. Shrutam means knowledge. Aham shrunomi iti uktva, that means I am hearing. Aham shrutavan, I heard. But shrutam means what you heard is knowledge. It's arthaha tatra. So, he is asking to hate the mother to come to his disciple. Now, in Ramayana, I have to quote this instance. Vibhishna asks Rama after the war. Rama has won the war, Ravana has died, and then as Rama was about to depart to Ayodhya, he asked, please, can you rule after my nation? You have won it, I am giving it to you. Because Vibhishna is to be installed as a king. But Rama said, these beautiful words, it comes in Valmiki Ramayana, Janani, Janma Bhumischa, Swargat Api Gariyasi. Swargat, Dan Swarga, Panchami Vibhakti, fifth Vibhakti, from Dan and all. Ramat, Krishnat, Nagarat means Dan or from it can be. So Swargat, Dan Swarga, Gariyasi, non-pareil, unmatchable. What is that? Janani and Janma Bhumi. Janani is mother. Mother. And Janma Bhumi, birthplace. Janma is birthplace. Janma Bhumi. See, Rama, he has not come to loot and do anything to Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka had more wealth than Ayodhya. Ravan had Kubera's wealth. He said Janani and Janma Bhumi, because see that king Rama, if some other Abrahamic kings are there, one wife gone, another wife, because there are no children. Sita, they were not having children. Okay, let somebody, she is lost in the forest, I'll go complete my father's promise and go back. No. His love on Sita was so much that every husband today of the Western world should read Ramayana. The love for family, the love for the wife, brothers, sisters, wife, not hatred, as said in Bible. Now, if I am going to argue to these Christian pastors, pastors, how they pronounce, I don't know, or the priests or the preachers, especially in India, the converts are more fanatics than the originals. Originals in Jerusalem, nobody follows Christianity, only 2%. They are more fanatics. They say, kick the Hindus on the face, let the blood come. One will say there are Satans. Satan is there in all the Kumbhakonam temples. One will say that I will not call Bharata Mata. There is no Bharata Mata. He will criticize everybody, but he will be eating the food. He and his ancestors are eating the food of our Tamil kings, of eating the food of our rishis, the munis, the Bharata Desham. They have drunk the water of Kaveri or drunk the water of Ganga or drunk the water, and the generations have come, and he has been born. Not from Abraham, not from Jerusalem or Europe. But they lost the loyalty, they are disloyal. See, in history we know there were traitors in our Indian history, and these traitors showed the doors of our Indian kings to the invaders like Mughals and all. We know, we have seen that. The secrets and the entrances and all. That's why we are Athithi Devo Bhava. We respect our guests. That's a Shastra. That is why we are ahimsa. We are non-violent. We welcome everybody, and finally they kicked us out and they occupied our house and they kicked us out. That is the treacherousness of these invaders. We know that. Likewise, there are traitors everywhere. There are who are disloyal. There may be. We do not know. But in the present system, they do not show loyalty to their own land. Where Rama says, Janmabhumi. They say, hit them on their face. Let the blood come. See, this is what they are talking. They call themselves as big priest or pastor of a big church or a big institution. Sathans are there. One went to the extent of saying that he went to Karnataka and he was very glad to see that the temple idol of Kamakshi was removed and the cross was installed. Cross is a symbol of death as per the Roman calculation. That's what you can see in BBC. Romans used to execute criminals on the cross. So you want to worship a noose, a hangman's noose, the thread which by the hangman, kills or executes criminals. He should say, they have installed the statue of Jesus, I am a follower of Jesus, nothing wrong, okay. Or you build a temple and install, what is wrong in worshipping an acharya, a good preacher? But these pastors, these churchianists, these preachers under the influence of Christianity of Rome or from England, they twist and everything, they impose, especially the Pentecost. The Pentecost will say, don't do Aradhana, do only Jesus. Aradhana is my form of worshipping my superior God or my different Vedas, different. I am submitting myself to God. I am not submitting myself to anybody. We are submitting under our own culture, system, practice. See the culture of, if you go to Kerala, how they worship the God. Beautifully put on an elephant. See the respect given to God. Caparisoned elephant with Panchavadiyas, the Panchamelas, the Panchavadiyam, the Panjari Melam, the Tayagam, the Chenda, the Chettivadiyams. What beauty in the morning carrying that, what is known as Teepandam we say. That is the fire glowing nicely in the log. What a beauty. The respect given to God. The Aradhana, the Karpura, the garland, the flowers. Don't you worship the photo of your grandfather? And secondly, you are worshipping a log cut out of wood. It's not simply coming from the air. And you are saying we are using the wood for somebody. I saw on YouTube something like that. The Christian nun is converting a Hindu like this by talking like this. It's awful. You cannot convert, do like that, because Hindus also worship. Our system is for, if you want to do without idol, yes, you can do meditation and concentrate on the feet of Bhagavan Krishna or Shiva, concentrate on Om, simply without any idol, you can concentrate if you want. We have different levels. If you want to enjoy God, you have every right to enjoy the God. You offer him flowers, you offer him garlands, you offer him nadaswarams. In Tamil Nadu, what beauty, they bring the Lord in a very big chariot. See the beauty, see the enjoyment. You are enjoying your God. This is a way of worship. If Pentecostal Christian mission comes and said, oh, all these are wrong, there should not be any idol, that is your mistake. You take idol everywhere. You take your pencil, you take your notebook. What are these? Why should you have a pencil and notebook to study mathematics? Everything you do in the air, nothing wrong. These are all idols. You want to see a television on a television screen. What is a television screen? It is an idol. You enjoy seeing a movie on a television. Everywhere you go on a plane from one destination to the other, that is an idol. You are using a form of material comfort for you to travel. You talk of all those things, but when Hindus worship for concentration and for their love, you say it is wrong. I wrote a book after investigation, after research. The Muslim princess who fell in love with Lord Sri Ranganatha, and Ramanujacharya retrieved the Ranganatha idol from going to Delhi. She fell in love. That's natural beauty, that's a natural love she has for Bhagavan Krishna, the Muslim princess. It's a true historical fact which happened about 700, 800 years back in India. I went to all those places. I went and investigated. It's a truth. See, people, if some have pets, dogs and cats, that's an idol only. Your friend is an idol to you. You cannot have friendship on air. Even emotions, if it is intangible, it reflects through a tangible form, a tangible material body. So your Shraddha, concentration, has to have a material physical body, because we human beings are inside a material body with 5 senses. Our reaction can come only through our material bodies and not through air. Simply without absence of body, we cannot do anything. So when you have a body, you have to think of a body or think of something else. For your learning and advancement, I have to read a book for me to develop science. I have to have a paper and a pencil for me to develop my mathematics. Everything with the hand in the air, the teacher cannot explain and I cannot learn properly. See, this is the beauty of Hinduism. The more of it I shall discuss in my ensuing episodes. Till such time, Bhuya, Tavat, Shubhamangalam, Dirghayushman Bhava, Harihi Om.